Welcome back. In this class, we will discuss another statistical inference method called testing of hypothesis. So, first of all, we have to define what is a statistical hypothesis. A statistical hypothesis is any statement concerning form of the population or value of a parameter. So, in order to study the procedure for testing hypothesis, we have to get familiar with the terms. Different types of hypothesis, for example, null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, test statistic, test criterion or critical region, this is called test critical region, test criterion or critical region, and another terminology called significance level. Two types of errors. Before defining all these concepts, we can illustrate the procedure for hypothesis testing using an example. As an example, we can consider the claim given by a paint manufacturing company. They claim that the newly introduced brand of their paint takes on the average 20 minutes for drying or 20 minutes drying time. And a consumer protection agency wants to test this claim. And what they do is they have selected 36 cans of same paint from different shops, and they observed the mean drying time given by the paint manufacturing company. We call this as a null hypothesis. So mu is equal to 20. So we have to accept or reject this claim based on the sample values. We have taken a sample of size 36, and suppose the observed mean time is x bar is equal to 20.75. And suppose we are making the decision so that if the mean drying time is greater than 20.75, we will reject the claim, or we will reject this hypothesis. This hypothesis is called a null hypothesis. Otherwise, we will accept it. So, for rejecting or accepting that claim, we have a criterion. Here the criterion is if the average of the sample values are exceeding this 20.75, we can reject the null hypothesis, and that statement is called alternative hypothesis, that is denoted by the letter H1, and H1 is mu greater than 20. So in our decision, we are investigating what is the probability or what is the chance of occurrence of error in our decision. For that, we are discussing the distribution given by this statistic sample mean, and we know that this sample mean x bar follows normal distribution with the parameters mu and sigma by root n, where mu is the population mean and sigma is the population standard deviation. Suppose this population standard deviation is also available. Suppose this sigma is equal to, from the past experience, suppose it is given. Suppose we can have the sigma value as 2.6. Then we know that from the sampling distribution of the sample mean, this is approximately normally distributed with the mean mu and standard deviation sigma by root n. So this is the mean value, mu is equal to 20. Suppose we are plotting different sample means along the x-axis direction, and we are fixing one number. That means if the computed mean is greater than 20.75, we will reject this hypothesis. So that area to the right of 20.75 is called the critical region or rejection region, and the complement region. So this rejection region has some tail probability. Suppose we denote this probability by alpha, and the remaining portion has probability 1 minus alpha, and that portion is called the acceptance region. So using standard normal distribution, we can standardize that normal curve as z is equal to x bar minus mu is equal to the value, say for example mu naught. Mu is equal to mu naught divided by sigma by root n. That follows n01. Corresponding to every null hypothesis, there will be an alternative hypothesis, and this alternative hypothesis is based on our sample information. So for these 36 samples, we have computed the sample mean, and we have observed that the mean value is greater than this 20. So we have taken that alternative hypothesis mu greater than 20. And this alternative hypothesis is called one-tailed because we are computing the probability of rejection of that statement, null hypothesis, if it is greater than, if the computed figure is greater than that 20 point, sample mean value is greater than 20.75. And we are using this sampling distribution as sampling distribution of the sample mean, and this value z is equal to x bar minus mu naught. Here mu naught, we can replace that mu naught by 20, and this is called the test statistic value. So the null hypothesis H naught, we are testing a specific value of the population, say for example mu is equal to mu naught, against the alternative hypothesis may be mu less than mu naught, or mu greater than mu naught, or mu not equal to mu naught. So one of these cases we will consider based on our sample information. And if the hypotheses are mu less than mu naught and mu greater than mu naught, these two are called one-tailed alternative. One-tailed alternative. Because the corresponding critical region or the rejection region has one tail probability, and for mu not equal to mu naught, it is called a two-tailed. This is called a two-tailed alternative. Two-tailed alternative. And they are called one-tailed and two-tailed alternative because for testing this hypothesis, we will use a sampling distribution, say a sampling distribution of the sample mean, then z is equal to x bar minus mu naught divided by sigma by root 10. This is called the test statistic, and we know that this random variable follows standard normal distribution n01. For the one-tailed hypothesis mu greater than mu naught, suppose we are fixing one value, say z alpha with this tail probability as alpha, or the corresponding tail probability may be to the left hand side. This is also alpha, z is equal to 0, and here also z equal to 0. So these are the two different cases for one-tailed alternative cases. Whenever this computed value, this is called the test statistic value, whenever this computed value of z is greater than this fixed number z alpha, we will reject the null hypothesis. So the numbers z greater than z alpha are called numbers lying in the rejection region, and this complement region is called acceptance region. So this is the acceptance region. So if the values are, if the computed values of test statistic are strictly less than this z alpha, then we will accept the null hypothesis, otherwise reject the hypothesis. So the numbers to the right of z alpha, if the computed numbers of z are to the right of z alpha, we will call it as critical region or lying in rejection region with some probability, say alpha. If the computed value of z is less than minus z alpha, we will reject the hypothesis, otherwise we will accept the hypothesis. For the two-tailed alternative, mu not equal to mu naught means, so whenever the computed value of that z is either greater than this z alpha by 2, or if the value of z is less than minus z alpha by 2, we will reject the hypothesis. We will reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, if the computed value of z is lying between this minus z alpha by 2 and z alpha by 2, we are in acceptance region. Then we will accept the null hypothesis. Whenever the null hypothesis is accepted, automatically the corresponding alternative hypothesis is rejected. Similarly, if this part is rejected, it is accepted. So this is the case when which we are testing a specific value of population parameter, for example mu as mu naught. Whenever we are comparing two populations with the parameters, population parameters say mu1 and mu2, we have the null hypothesis as mu1 is equal to mu2 against the alternate hypothesis h1 mu1 less than mu2, mu1 greater than mu2 or mu1 not equal to mu2. Either one of these cases occur in the alternate hypothesis, and we will set this all, we will write down this alternate hypothesis based on our sample information. We are drawing two samples from two populations with the sample size n1 and n2. If mu1 and mu2 are their respective population parameters, we are equating that mu1 equal to mu2 and take it as the null hypothesis. And in this case also, the first two are called one-tailed and the second one is called two-tailed alternative. In statistical inference, we are arriving at a conclusion based on our sample observations or sample values. So two types of errors are possible. One is rejecting H0 when H0 is actually true. So that error is called type 1 error. Actually, the population statement or the population parameter value is true, the null hypothesis is true, but based on a wrong sample selected, we are rejecting that hypothesis. The error occurred is called type 1 error. And if H0 is accepted when H0 is true, our decision is correct. So this is called the correct decision part. Correct decision. And another error is accepting H0 when H0 is actually false. That is called a type 2 error. Type 2 error. And reject a statement which is already false, no error, or it is correct decision. And this probability of type 1 error is called significance level. Probability of type 1 error. That is denoted by the symbol alpha, that is a tail probability, and this is called significance level. And usually that significance level may be alpha is equal to 5% or alpha is equal to 1%, etc. If a significance level for a test is not given, we will usually take it as alpha is equal to 5%. And what is the meaning that probability of type 1 error is equal to 5%? That means in selecting 100 such samples and we are making 100 such inferences, out of 5 cases our decision may be wrong. That is the meaning of probability of type 1 error is equal to alpha or significance level. Next we are considering what are the different types of test statistics or sampling distributions we are using and what are the corresponding critical regions. Suppose we are using the first type of testing as normal test for large samples. Large sample with sigma non, and we are testing the null hypothesis mu is equal to some specific value mu is equal to mu naught. And we know that for large sample with a sigma non, the sampling distribution or the corresponding random variable set is x bar minus mu is equal to mu naught divided by sigma by root n. That follows normal distribution with the parameters 0 and 1. And second case, the normal distribution case is large sample with the sigma unknown. Large sample sigma unknown. For large sample sigma unknown also we are using the normal distribution or the sampling distribution as x bar follows n mu s by root n or z is equal to x bar minus mu naught divided by s by root n, where s is the sample standard deviation that follows normal distribution. So these two type tests are called normal test, and we are applying normal test for testing the null hypothesis mu is equal to mu naught. And two situations whenever we are considering a large sample with the sigma non and a large sample with the sigma unknown. For large sample with the sigma non case, this test statistic or this computed value of the random variable is given by the formula x bar minus mu naught by sigma by root n. And for sigma unknown case, the computation is based on this formula x bar minus mu naught by s by root n. And after computing this test statistic value, we have to make the decision, and that decision is based on the value of Z alpha or Z alpha by 2, and depending on the nature of the alternate hypothesis, we have different rejection regions or critical regions. For the one-tailed alternative hypothesis mu less than mu naught, if the computed value of Z is less than minus Z alpha, we will reject the null hypothesis mu is equal to mu naught. And similarly, for the one-tailed alternative mu greater than mu naught, we will reject the null hypothesis if the computed value Z is greater than the number obtained from standard normal table called Z alpha. And for two-tailed alternative mu not equal to mu naught, we will reject the null hypothesis whenever the computed value of Z is either Z is less than minus Z alpha by 2 or Z is greater than Z alpha by 2. Whenever one of these two situations occur, we will reject the null hypothesis. And these two are called normal test for mean or mean testing large sample cases. And the third case in mean testing is small sample with sigma unknown. Whenever small sample with a sigma unknown, the corresponding sample distribution is V naught, that sample distribution is T distribution, and the test statistic is T is equal to x bar minus mu naught divided by S by root n. That follows T distribution with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. And in this situation, for one-tailed alternative mu less than mu naught, if the computed value of T is less than minus T alpha, we will reject the null hypothesis. Thus, here also we have the similar situation as standard normal distribution. This is T is equal to 0. Suppose this is our T alpha, then this is the tail probability alpha. Similarly, for minus T alpha or T alpha by 2. For T alpha by 2, we have two tails. This is our T alpha by 2 minus T alpha by 2, and these two tail probabilities are alpha by 2 each. This is alpha by 2 and this probability is also alpha by 2. And similarly, for the one-tailed alternative mu greater than mu naught, whenever T greater than T alpha, we will reject the null hypothesis. And for two-tailed alternative, if the computed value of this test statistic T is less than minus T alpha by 2 or T greater than T alpha by 2, we will reject the null hypothesis. So these are the critical regions associated with the T test. Now see what are the different steps involved in hypothesis testing. The step number 1, write down the hypothesis, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis. And second part is, for arriving a conclusion, we require some significance level. Set the significance level. Significance level. Set the significance level alpha. If it is not specified, usually we take this alpha as 5%. Otherwise, there may be maybe 1% or 5%, etc. And third part is, use a proper sampling distribution, and using that sampling distribution, we will compute the value that is called the test statistic. Decide the test statistic. Now the final step, based on the test criterion or critical region, arrive at a conclusion. Use the critical region and arrive at the conclusion. Arrive at the decision whether to accept or reject the null hypothesis. For making decision in statistical inference is p-value approach. Instead of critical region, here we are fixing some probability value or the tail probability value. So usually we have some significance level alpha. And if this tail probability, here we are considering the case of a two-tailed test. We are considering a two-tailed test as testing the null hypothesis mu is equal to mu naught against the alternative hypothesis mu not equal to mu naught. So naturally we have two tail probabilities. If these tail probabilities are corresponds to the ordinate value say set. For example, after computation, substituting mu naught and the sigma by root 10, suppose this answer is 1.77. From standard normal table, the probability from 0 up to this computed value of statistic 1.77 is 0.4616, and subtracting this 0.4616 from 0.5, we get this tail probability. And because of symmetry, this tail probability is also 0.0384. Okay, and adding up that tail probability, if the tail probability is exceeding the corresponding alpha by 2 value or the total alpha value, what are the tail probability values? The tail probability values are obtained as 1 minus 2 into 0.4616. So the total tail probabilities add up to 1 minus 2 into this 0.4616, that is 0.0768. And we can see that the significance level alpha, suppose the significance level alpha is equal to 5%. So this number is exceeding, or this is strictly greater than our significance level 0.05. If the computed p-value is greater than the significance level, or if the p-value is larger than the significance level, we can accept the null hypothesis, or we will be in the acceptance region. That means for larger p-value, larger than the significance level, we will accept, and for smaller p-value, we will reject the null hypothesis. So this is a secondary approach in making decision on hypothesis testing, and this is the most common method used in research field. So we can conclude that if you are comparing the computed p-value with the significance level, if the p-value is greater than the significance level or large p-value, implies the null hypothesis accepted. And smaller p-value, that means if the computed p-value is less than the significance level, we will reject the null hypothesis. And this p-value in actual situation, we are computing this p-value using software. All statistical software will directly give this p-value. Then we can compare that p-value with the fixed significance level and arrive at a conclusion very easily. So these are the main concepts associated with the mean testing. Here we are discussed only one mean testing, and the next class we will discuss how to test two means for two different normal populations. Thank you.